Okay, everybody, hey, I'm back at you again with a brand new video. Today I'm going to be preparing deep dish pan pizza. So I've got my dough that I prepared ahead of time and kept it in the refrigerator overnight. It consists, and this is just for half a batch or one deep dish. This is probably an 8 by 10 inch pan. And so first of all, I'm going to start off with saturating it with olive oil. So the purpose for that is it allows saturation of the pan is a twofold purpose. Number one, so that the dough won't stick to the pan. It allows for easy removal. And then it adds crispness to your crust. So you want to go pretty heavy. I would say about, for this size pan, you want to go with about maybe a tablespoon of olive oil, 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Now, I suppose you could use other oils like vegetable oil, canola, avocado, and the like, but olive oil adds flavor. And it's just olive oil and pizza dough are pretty much synonymous with one another. So probably a good tablespoon and maybe a half. Okay. And the dough was pre-made overnight, set in my refrigerator overnight. 1.5 cups of bread flour. Now, the purpose for using bread flour is because with pizza, it allows for a chewiness that all-purpose flour doesn't give you so much of. So for that reason, you want to go with bread flour, okay? And so, again, I added 1.5 cups of bread flour. I added equal parts, I added 1 package of quick rise yeast, okay? And I added equal parts of olive oil and honey. So I did 1/8 of a cup or 2 tablespoons of olive oil and 2 tablespoons of honey. Olive oil for the flavor, honey for the color and the crispness of the dough. Okay? And to that, I added 3/4 of a cup. And by the way, I'll leave the recipe for the dough in the description box so that I make sure I give you the right measurements. Because right now I'm going on, I'm guesstimating. And it's been a while since I've made pizza. So I'm guesstimating. But I believe it was 3/4 of a cup. And I use soda water. But you can use water, lukewarm water. And 1 packet of yeast. Okay? Quick rise or instant, really doesn't matter. And then the 2 tablespoons of honey, 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Okay. And then about a teaspoon of oregano. Okay. And a half a teaspoon of salt. And then a teaspoon of garlic powder. And then last but not least, I blended in a whole head of roasted garlic, just for the flavor. It's totally optional, but if you want added flavor to your crust, because your crust is what makes the pizza, okay? So for added flavor, 1 head of roasted garlic, okay? So here's the dough. And I had just taken it out of my refrigerator. And it's going to need to proof for about an hour. And don't worry if it doesn't stretch all the way to the sides of your pan. As it warms up and it begins to proof, all those holes will fill out. And I can't really show you that, but trust me, it expands, and so it'll cover the whole circumference, the bottom of your pizza pan, okay? Now, what I'm getting ready to do now is to make a simple tomato sauce, a simple base of tomato sauce, and a bit of tomato paste, some garlic powder, and some oregano, and a little bit of salt. So I'm gonna add this one small can, and you won't use it all, but you can save the rest of it for another pizza. But it's an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce, okay? And then I've got some leftover tomato paste that I'm going to add, which is about a half of a small can. Just add all of that, okay? Make a real simple tomato sauce. All right. And then I want to jazz up the sauce just a little bit. So I'm going to put some of these hot pepper flakes. You buy that at International Market. Just sprinkle some of that in there, just to kick it up a notch. Maybe 1/4 teaspoon. And so there's that. And then some garlic powder, maybe about 1/2 teaspoon. And then some oregano, about the same, 1/2 teaspoon. Doesn't have to be a lot. Just really for the flavor. And then a dash of salt, because salt seasons everything. Okay, so maybe 1/2 teaspoon of salt. You want to just cook this down. You add a little bit of, I got 2 different olive oils here. One is light and then extra virgin. Want to add some extra virgin olive oil. Maybe about a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. Okay. And then for some added flavor, and this is purely optional, I'm finding out more and more fish sauce is a wonderful thing. And most people can tolerate it. Even if you have an allergy to fish, which I do have, just a dash of it is tolerable. So maybe a half a teaspoon of fish sauce adds so much flavor, so much wonderful flavor. And the only thing that I don't have, just because I ran out and forgot to pick it up at the store, was some balsamic vinegar. I swear by balsamic vinegar, but since I don't have that, I'm going to use some of this apple cider vinegar. This adds wonderful flavor. Balsamic vinegar is preferred, but a half a teaspoon or so of that, or apple cider vinegar, if that's all you have, will work out just fine. And then, last but not least, I'm going to add a bit of sugar, not for the sweetness, but it balances, it enhances, okay? So I'm going to add a bit of sugar to the sauce. Maybe about a half a teaspoon of that. And just continue to stir that. Let it cook down. Then I'm going to add a little bit of grated Parmesan cheese. Just for the flavor's sake. A little bit of that. Maybe about a tablespoon. Now again, you want to let your dough rise for an hour. Let it warm up and let it rise for about an hour. Now you don't have to prepare your dough and let it refrigerate overnight. You can actually prepare this dough and use it within an hour. If you're pressed for time and you don't have time to wait, let it sit for overnight. You can actually prepare the dough and use it after it's had its rise for an hour. But the purpose for preparing it overnight and refrigerating it is because it adds so much flavor. Those flavors just marry well overnight in your dough. So this is going to render you a pretty thick sauce, but that's what you want. And you don't have to cook it a long time. And then I'm just going to taste it to see whether or not I need to add anything. It's great. It's absolutely great. Might want to add a little bit more salt. I wish I had that balsamic vinegar. Y'all use balsamic vinegar if you have it. It's a great flavor enhancer. Totally optional, but trust and believe me, It adds so much flavor to your sauces, to your foods. It really, really does. I'm gonna add a little bit more oregano so I can taste it. Okay. So maybe a full, I don't know if I said how much at first, but I'm saying a whole teaspoon of oregano. Okay. I'm gonna taste this sauce one more time. Okay, that's what's up. That is what's up. Okay, now you can turn it off. So I've got to wait a full hour on this dough to rise before I can move on to the next step. But just to let you know, everything that's going to go in my pizza, I've got some beef salami, pepperoni, same thing. Some beef bacon, and then some chicken sausage. Those are the meats. Okay. With the veggies, I'm going with bell pepper, some shallot, and some mushrooms, and then a whole lot of cheese. Okay, so the next time I come back to you, I'll be layering on the ingredients and then baking it off in the oven. So hang in there. Hey there, I'm back. I've allowed the dough to proof for 1 hour, and here's what it looks like. So what you want to do is just gently press down, make little divots in the dough for the purposes of cradling the pizza sauce. And allow the sauce to cook down and cool off. So now I'm going to go ahead and spread it on top of the pizza dough. You want to go medium, not too heavy. And you want to give yourself about a 1/2 inch from the edge where there is no pizza sauce. Okay. Just about a 1/2 inch toward the edge. You want to keep it free. And I'll show you that momentarily. So while I was away, I took the liberty to cook down my chicken sausage and my bacon, so I could allow it to cool off to move on to this step. Okay, so here's what you should have. About a 1/2 inch from the edge, because you're gonna take some Parmesan cheese and put it around the edges. And the purpose for doing that, and I've got shaved shaved Parmesan. But you can use the grated. I just had some shaved left over from cooking spaghetti, so I thought I would use it as opposed to the grated. And the purpose for doing that around the edges is to add a little extra flavor to the dough, but it also adds crispiness to you. You know how you have those crispy edges of your pizza? So generally that's how that's done. You put cheese around the edges. And so you want to save a little bit of that Parmesan for the top. So the next thing I want to do is I want to add my salami, pepperoni, same thing. And I'm just gonna load up layer upon layer, being sure not to cover those edges, but layer upon layer. And the reason for me to use beef and chicken is because I don't eat pork. So do you, whatever you have to work with, use it. All right, so there is that. Then I've got some chicken sausage, which I'm sure I'm not going to use it all, but I cooked down my chicken sausage, homemade chicken sausage. If you want to know how to do homemade chicken sausage links, go back and watch my video. I think I made chicken sausage links and chicken, which is turkey and chicken combination. So anyway, I'm going to layer some of that chicken sausage on top of my salami. Okay. The reason why I cooked this stuff ahead of time is so that it could cool down. I'm sure you guys can understand that. So layer that on. It's gonna be so yummy, y'all. So yummy. I may end up using it all. It's a lot. I would say I got about 1.5 pounds of chicken sausage here. Okay. That will be enough of that. The next thing I'm going to do, well, I'm going to rinse my hands off. The next thing I'm going to do is add my mushrooms. Let's do the mushrooms now. All right, I'm going to layer on my mushrooms. And that's a big mushroom. These are really, really big. I guess I could I'm gonna cut them up a little bit. They're kind of big. I'm gonna cut them in half. I didn't realize they were that big. While I do like mushrooms, I want it to be even enough and uniform. So all right. Let's get another one. And I'm surely not going to use all these mushrooms, but there are some. Okay. Want to fill in all the spaces. All right, so that's enough of mushroom. Next thing I'm going to add is my chopped up peppers and shallots. Let's see here. Yeah, my chopped up peppers and shallots. I'm going to save the bacon for the top because there's not that much of it, and I still want to be able to taste the bacon. So I'm going to be putting that on top. And of course, I'm not using all of the onions and peppers. Oh my God, you guys, I can't believe I did this. I really can't believe I did this. Major mistake. Let's start over. Let's just start over. I didn't put a layer of cheese on. Why didn't somebody just stop me? Stop the madness. Mama hen, stop the madness. Think about what you're doing. Forgot to put the layer of cheese. And y'all probably can really tell I haven't made pizza in a very long time, because how can you forget the cheese? Oh my goodness. So it's a good thing I caught it before it went in the oven. That would have been a disaster. My goodness, my goodness. What is pizza without cheese? Okay. And I am not my goodness, my goodness. Y'all forgive me. Just forgive me, please. I should have really put the cheese on before I put the pepperoni, but it's all good. It's all good. I'm going to put it on top of the salami, actually, not pepperoni. Same thing. Okay, same thing. And I grated up my cheese and everything yesterday in preparation for today's presentation. So how in the world can I forget the cheese? right. So I got most of that off. And I'm just going to leave the salami there. Okay, let me grab the cheese. I'm going with whole mozzarella, and I grated it as best as I could, but whole milk mozzarella, not that stuff in them packages. Whole mozzarella, whole fat or whole milk mozzarella melts so much better, and it tastes so much better. So go with the whole milk mozzarella. Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna put some oregano, sprinkle some oregano over that. Okay. Then I'm going to put my sausage back on. This is gonna be so yummy, y'all. And as I often say, homemade beats store-bought any day of the week. Now that doesn't, when it comes to pizza, that rule somewhat changes, is because you go to a pizzeria and buy your pizza. So those are good, but the store-bought stuff, yeah, you can do so much better. You can do so much better. So homemade beats store-bought any day of the week. All right. All right, let's press those ingredients down. And then let's go back with the mushrooms. Right. And then with the peppers and the shallots. Want to go ahead and preheat your oven to 450 degrees because you want to bake your pizza with hot heat. Extra hot heat. That's how you bake your pizza, whether you're using a stone or a pan or cast iron. You want to go with very hot heat. Okay. A little bit more pepper and shallot. Just go ahead and press that down, and then I'm going to add my bacon bits, my beef bacon bits. And I chose to put those on last because I want to taste the bacon. And if I put it with the sausage and the salami, the flavors won't be as pronounced as if I just topped it off with the bacon bits, because there's just a little bit of bacon. You can believe I cooked down a ½ pound of bacon, and this is all that it gave me. So anyway, then I'm going to add just a little bit more cheese. I'm going to add a tad more mozzarella, not a whole lot. Tad more mozzarella. Let's see here. Just a little bit. And then the rest of the Parmesan. Just sprinkle that over the top of the Parmesan, or the pizza. The rest of that shaved Parmesan. Okay, now press it all down so it stays on. And then I'm going to drizzle, this is so fattening, y'all, but whatever. I'm going to drizzle a little bit of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, over the top. Okay. And then some more of that oregano. Okay. And here you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Pan pizza. Okay. Now, you want to heat, like I said, you want to heat your oven to 450 degrees. And that's going to bake for between 20 and 25 minutes. So that the next time I come back to you, the pizza would have baked up. It would have cooled off slightly so that I'm able to cut into it and show you and sample it for you. Okay, so hang in there. Hey everybody, I'm back with the finished pan pizza. How about that? Now I want to remove it from the pan so I can cut it. So let's hope it all goes well. Oh my goodness. It looks good. It smells good. See if I can get it out of the pan in all one piece. All right. I need another spatula. well. Okay, let's do this one. All right, let's give it a go. Or not. There's got to be an easier way to get this out. Y'all bear with me. Try to get it all out in one piece. That's pretty good. Not 100%, but it's pretty good. Now you see why it was important to oil the bottom of the pan. At any rate, here we have it. And now to cut it. And then to sample it. All right. I'm going to cut it into 6 pieces. Probably could have let it cool off a little bit more. And then cut it lengthwise. All right. And to serve it up on a plate, I'm going to take this piece right here. You see that? That looks delicious. And now for the taste test. Where do I start? I think I'll cut it with a knife. And here goes, ladies and gentlemen. It's pizza time. A It was so rich. The crust is to die for. With the addition of that roasted garlic mixed in with the crust, it really sets it off. Remember the bacon that I put on last? I taste it. Otherwise, I would not have been able to taste it because there's so much chicken sausage on it. But because I waited to put it on top, I actually taste the bacon. See that? Well done. I chose salad versus onion because for me, salad is superior to just plain old onion. Salad is a cross between garlic and onion. So you can imagine the flavor. It's outstanding. And with the addition of the Parmesan cheese around the edges, it makes the crust, the edges, nice and crunchy. And chewy at the same time. So I encourage you guys to try the recipe. You can put whatever toppings you like on it and just make it your own. It's wonderful. It kind of reminds me of, and maybe you guys can relate, Godfather's Pizza. Remember the Godfather's Pizza? Deep dish Godfather's Pizza. As a matter of fact, it's how, or the process in which Pizza Hut makes its pan pizzas with that same type of pan and the same type of crust. Many years ago, I worked as a bread baker in an Italian restaurant where they taught us how to make pizzas, breads, and things of that nature. And one of the things that the Italians do very well is make pizza and pasta, of course, but all kinds of breads. And one of the things I remember most about the pizza dough making process is that they use equal parts olive oil and honey. It makes a superior pizza crust. And so I have kept that idea in mind for all these years, all these decades. I will only make pizza dough that incorporates honey and extra virgin olive oil. So again, I encourage you guys, make your own pizza As I often say, homemade beats store-bought any day of the week. And with as hard as times are and the cost of food, some things, you know, you want to keep as a family staple on the weekends or when you're spending time with your family. And one of those things is making and eating pizza. Why not make it your own? Why not make it? It's a lot cheaper than buying it. And with the economy the way that it is, hey, you got to cut costs some kind of way without giving up some of the things that you enjoy doing or eating. So if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And I'm going to give you one more look at this pan pizza. This deep dish pan pizza. You see that? Bye-bye.